What You've Been Watching podcast. I am your host, the marvelous Mike Dudley, joined as always by my co-host, cohort, and younger brother,
MD3 Marcus Dudley, checking in on you. How are y'all out there in podcast land? We are broadcasting live from the What You've Been Watching studios in the shadows of Doak Campbell Stadium, live in Tallahassee, Florida. Hope y'all are doing well out there. $1 million question. How are you, my friend?
I am so good, man. Life is pretty good for old Mike Dudley at this point, so we're doing all right.
Well, that's good, man. That's good. Any? Can you?
It can't last. It's not going to last. It's all going to crumble. Oh, fuck.
Get back to the movies, Michael. They don't fail you.
Careful, Icarus.
Careful, Icarus. Oh, man. So, before we do anything, we want to check in with some things. We want to go ahead and plug What Ya Been Watching podcast at gmail.com.
At gmail.com.
I almost said .com at gmail. Yeah, it didn't make sense. Anyways, What You Been Watching podcast at gmail.com or facebook.com. Where can they find us there, Michael?
Facebook.com/Dudley Bros Podcast, or just search for What You Been Watching.
Look for the wonderful, wonderful, colorful banner by the great MKD Art, the Middle Duds. Also want to give a big shout out to Kesta, as always, for the wonderful intro music, which we lucked out in finding. Always bright. You ever see him, give him some spins, give him a shout out. So, housekeeping's done. Anything else been going on, man?
No, man. No. Just been trying my best to upkeep and stay diligent in my movie watching because, got to give the fans what they deserve. The things what they know, nary require.
Yeah, nary require, absolutely. Before we get into that, I'm going to do a little bit of housekeeping on myself because Michael is too rude to ask me. We're not going to ask the $1 million question yet. We know that's what you tuned in for. Don't worry about that. We have not forgotten.
Come on, this is foreplay. This is us easing into it.
Well, this is me buying you a dinner first. No, man, I have been so busy, dude. I went up to Philadelphia for a trip, as I spoke about it on the podcast before. And those goddamn Eagles lost their first game, my first professional football game that I've ever been to, and they fucking lost. Now, I'm not delusional. I never said that the Eagles were going to go undefeated. You can check the tapes. I said it, but it wasn't on air. But, no, I'm not that delusional. But it just had to be fucking unfortunate. It's the one time that I go up there against a sorry-ass Washington, whatever they're called now. And God damn it.
This
is
is
my luck.
This is why we can't have nice things, Marcus.
Exactly.
This is why.
My expectations nice and low.
That's right.
Fly too close to the sun.
That's right.
Kept telling, so we went. I had a wonderful time, though. I had a great time at Lincoln Financial Field, the same field where champions play. No, I did not try to step on my foot on there. But the atmosphere there was incredible, man. It was very Philly. People getting booed a lot. Your own players, when they came out flat, it was what it was. But they lost the game. It was my first NFL game I ever went to, as I stated. And I was telling Angie, who was kind enough to take me there, I'm like, they lost because I'm here. And she's like,
no, honey, no.
She's like, I'm going to tell you something that I tell every male in my life. You are not that important. Damn, and the world does not revolve around you. But it's because I didn't have my lucky jersey on. It was something. I was the one that broke, the control of it.
Oh, so yeah. Somehow you were the linchpin that set the
variable.
Bridge
the variable. So it was me. I'm sorry to the great fans of the Philadelphia Eagles. I won't harp on it too much. But I've been very, very busy. We took a little mini vacation up there. Did some really cool things. Saw the great city. If you haven't been, I recommend going. Good eating place. Went to Reading Terminal or Reading Terminal, however you say it. The terminal market there. All kinds of good grub. Had many cheese steaks. I'm starting to
went to a Wawa and crushed some hoagies.
We did walk by this guy. He was an electrician or whatever, and he did have the most Philadelphia accent I've ever heard in my life. And I just sat there and listened to him for a second. I don't want to impersonate it because I'd be doing him an injustice, but it was really fucking funny. But yeah, man, it was really cool though. The reason I brought up the sporting events before, I know I'm not going to make this a sporting podcast. You're not going to hear my hot takes ever on what the defense needs to be running and all. Fuck all that. There's plenty of those. But it is what I've been watching, but that's still not the $1 million question yet. The reason I bring it up is because I realized after that, every sporting event that I've been to dating back to the previous year of Florida State football, they fucking lost. This goes back to when Florida State lost to Jacksonville State, a Division II team.
Right.
That was the first time ever in our history. And I, for whatever reason, was like, I'll break the luck. And I just kept going to games. We just kept losing. One, because we were bad. And then I went to 2 of the 3 games that we lost this season. I go up to Philadelphia. I'm like, cool, we got an afternoon to kill. We got cheap tickets. I'm going to go to a Flyers game. They get blown out. 5-1. Go to the Eagles game. They fucking lose. I'm like, I got to stop going to sporting events.
You know why this is, right?
Because I went.
Exactly. Because God hates you.
Yeah.
It's you specifically, Marcus. I want to reiterate this.
I've been saying that.
Like, so you were at the Flyers game, right?
Yes, and
so
somebody made a wonderful appearance.
I was just going to ask you, did you get a chance to meet the illustrious, legendary Gritty?
Gritty was there. He actually came into our section.
Nice.
And brought the thunder, brought the heat.
What was it like to be that close, like face to face with greatness?
You know, it's something I realized in the moment that I'll never attain. It was a very humbling experience when you look at somebody and you just see somebody that's got the fake animal mascot game on lock.
That's right.
So heavy.
It's like crying in front of the Pietà, or like weeping at the overture of Beethoven or something like that.
Yeah. And you realize you will never, ever stand close to that. And you shouldn't be, because I'm too low class for this anyway. But no, Gritty was the man. It was such a blowout that his job is to go up there and keep the fans into it.
Yeah.
And he's really good at it.
Sure.
He was pitting our section against another section of you chair, just doing mascot shit. Our section won because of me.
You couldn't bring that luck to the Flyers themselves, but at least your section benefited.
Yeah. It's weird. I don't even fuck with hockey like that. But if you ever get an opportunity to go to a live hockey game,
they're a blast, dude.
Please do. We used to have a small, I don't know what division it was.
Like AAA team. Yeah.
AAA team, whatever it was, Division II, whatever it was, a smaller, semi-professional hockey team here in Tallahassee.
Shout out to the Tiger Sharks.
The Tallahassee Tiger Sharks. And we, as children, went all the time. And it was the place to be here in Tallahassee.
Well, yeah, the tickets were cheap. You know, it was like $10 a head, and then children under 6 get in free. So all of a sudden, you and Matthew got real young.
Yeah. But man, shout out to Tallahassee back in the day. We used to pack that fucking place.
Oh, yeah.
The TLC Double C, baby.
Hell yeah.
Pack it for them, man. They were celebrities all over town, the Tallahassee Tiger Sharks. So I went to the Tiger Sharks game, and that was obviously a semi-pro team. And I've been to a ton of Florida State games, and that was, obviously a college team. When you realize the speed of the game at the NFL level, it was like, holy shit, man. There's such a difference in the two. Like, the speed of a hockey game, like in the NHL, is crazy compared to what I used to watch.
Oh, yeah.
And then, going to an NFL game, usually when I'm watching a football game and it's at the collegiate level, though, I can kind of play along with the quarterback and watch the play kind of unfold and be like, oh, your dude's open there, or oh, this is what's going to happen. I can start to see things develop.
Well, but you also have the benefit of bird's eye view and seeing everything on the field, opposed to your field of vision,
Yeah, absolutely. But in a pro game, I'm not used to it. The way that they shoot it on TV, it's like they kind of keep you up with the action. I wasn't used to it yet, and I'm a pretty knowledgeable football guy, but it was something. I was really impressed. I was like, oh, this is the best of the best. Take the best college players all over the nation, give them 4 years to develop, and then go throw them in a league. And they're going to be faster, stronger. It's like, oh yeah, this doesn't translate on TV as well. So it was really interesting. So I did want to get that out there. But I had a great time in Philly. The only thing that sucked though, man, it ended up not being that bad, but I got yoked around by American Airlines a little bit.
Yay.
We were leaving Philadelphia, and it was Philadelphia to DC, DC to Tallahassee. And we go to get off the runway in Philly, and they kept us there for an hour and a half, an hour and 20 minutes. And the whole time, we're like, all right, what the hell's going on? And we were close enough to the front where we could hear the crew people talking to the captain. Apparently, it was over some wheelchair. Somebody didn't have a fucking wheelchair, and they didn't have the headsets to go get it. So they delayed the entire plane. And so we missed our connecting flight, and I sprint full clip when we land. I sprint all the way across Reagan Airport in D.C. to go to the plane's sitting there on the tarmac still, and they were supposed to radio ahead and be like, hey, please hold the plane.
Right.
Nobody did it. None of that shit.
Of course.
And there's 4 people that are supposed to be working the gate just standing there having that look like, what do you want? I'm on my break. And you're like, hey, did they tell you that the plane was delayed? And they're like, the plane's closed, sir. I'm like, yeah, no shit. I'm looking at the plane. Can you open the door? The door closes 10 minutes before takeoff. Like, yeah, no shit, Sherlock. I was like, okay, so you need to talk to this person. And there was 5 of us that were apparently going to Tallahassee. But then some older dude caught up to me and he just went off, and I just loved every second of it. So he was just like, "Oh, sir, it was the weather," and he's like, "It's not the fucking weather. It was the fact that you can't find a fucking wheelchair, and nobody made an executive decision because this person." He wasn't mad at the person for needing a wheelchair.
No,
Any credit to that. But at some point, somebody needs to make an executive decision of like, we're holding
and also
60 other people hostage.
Yeah, also don't tell me it's weather when we all know what the story is.
Yeah.
Like if I'm telling you, like, hey man, I know the truth, and you don't have to give me the bullshit. Just own up to it. Be like, yeah, we kind of screwed the pooch on that one. Our bad. You know, like it's ownership on their part, like just some sort of acknowledgement of their mistake, and that's all you want is just somebody to be like, hey, my bad.
Yeah, absolutely. So I go to the customer service for American Airlines, and ultimately they're like, well, we can get you to this city, but there's nothing. I realize now what it was. The shout out to Florida State women's soccer. We're hosting a regional, so because they're such badasses, they have a #1 seed in the tournament, so they're hosting all the games, all the soccer games. So apparently, they could strand us in another city. They're like, oh, we can fly you to Atlanta, but there's no flights leaving to Atlanta till tomorrow anyway. So it's like that doesn't help.
Right.
Like, what about Fort Walton Beach? I'm like, our car is in Tallahassee. So it doesn't do us any good. They go, oh, we have a plane leaving at the same time tomorrow. I'm like, all right, fuck it. I guess we're staying in DC then.
Right.
Which they gave us a coupon to the super shitty hotel.
Of course.
And they gave us 2 vouchers, Angie and I each, for $12 worth of food at the airport. And that was it. And
so I got to eat at the airport.
$12 for a full 24
Can't even
hours.
go out to Applebee's. Can't go out to, Walmart and get, pick up some fried chicken sandwiches or something like that.
Yeah, they fucking suck. So that's when the person, and I do this sometimes when I'm like, sir, the guy at the customer service counter, I'm like, sir, I'm not going to yell at you because I know you're here just to do a job, but please do not take my calm demeanor right now for anything less than the fact that I'm absolutely furious.
Right, right.
The reason we are late is because of your own airline's inadequacies.
Right.
And the fact that maybe I didn't pay as many taxes, but it's just the fact that, like, didn't we bail you fucking guys out years ago? And, right. You failed because of your own incompetence. You get billions of dollars and you're like, yeah, we still suck. Sorry about that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, there's no other options.
Right,
Sorry.
right. What's your other option? Sorry, those teleporters haven't worked out yet.
Exactly. It's like, fuck you. Like, we bail you out, you fucking goons.
Yeah, so. Same way. I hate it. But I to be honest, just to bring it back to movies and whatnot, I kind of feel the same way about, cinemas. Like the fact that they were overcharging and running, just putting out the same shit and just charging for everything for minimal experience, like just putting as many asses into seats, not improving the actual seats you're sitting in. And then COVID comes along and it's like, save us. And it's like, no. Like some Rorschach shit, like, no, like, no, you did it to yourself. Like streaming services came along and kind of proved that, oh, I don't really need you. I can sort of watch movies on my own time and at my own pace. And I don't have to spend $30 goddamn dollars on a date just to go see the latest shitty movie.
$30. This shits are $22.50 a piece to go to the.
Well, if you think I'm not having that broad sneak in her own snacks, you are mistaken, sir.
I'm saying the ticket price alone are $22.50.
Yeah.
But now, Michael, I will say this only speaks for half of what you've been watching. On that. I think I'm an anomaly. I love the theater going experience.
I do too.
I know you do too. But I think John Q. Public or whatever looks at the theaters now and they're like, I'm not fucking good. That's why everyone's like, we'll just put it on streaming in 2 weeks. Like, it is what it is, man. So
I mean, like I do love a good theater experience, but like there comes a certain point to where, you're stuffing me in next to like a whole class of 6th graders and they're talking and like nobody's doing anything about it. The picture's out of focus. Like your popcorn is $68 goddamn dollars and
You sound like Granddad in the Boondocks.
I do, but
so you have to put butter on your own popcorn. I pay you for the goddamn popcorn.
Exactly. Why should I have to put the exactly?
You put the butter on my popcorn.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Anyways, oh man. So $1 million question.
Doggy style.
Speaking of theater, but no, I did get a cool day in DC. Ended up hitting a couple museums. It was nice, but still, it's like more money to spend on food. It's like, fuck, man, like,
yeah,
you fucking got me again. But whatever. So, anyways, $1 million question. My brother, the reason everybody tunes in. thank y'all for riding with me. That all didn't apply to what we were about to talk to. That's why I wanted to get it out the way up first. Without further ado, Duds, what the hell you been watching?
My good man, I saw the John Waters classic Crybaby the other day.
The Johnny Depp vehicle of musical
And
proportion.
Ricky Lake and Iggy Pop and
Ricky Lake isn't that, isn't
she is. She's very, very pregnant in that movie and pops out a kid in the backseat of a drag racing car. It's pretty dope.
Anyways, what you think about it? Though? I haven't seen that movie in a very long time.
It's good. I mean, it's solid John Waters camp. It's definitely I hate to say on the tamer side, but as far as for John Waters, it's on the tamer side.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just fun camp. It's a rockabilly musical. Johnny Depp singing his heart out. They have the crooner and swing dance numbers, and it's really really good choreography as far as that goes. But yeah, it's like Grease, but for teenagers that actually fuck.
That's the best review you could give it. I am gonna say though, it is I think another instance like we were talking about where imitation is the best form of flattery.
Yeah.
I think it is a little bit of a send up, and he's kind of making fun of some of that stuff.
Oh, for sure.
But he also, again, to do that properly, to make fun of it, you have to have some reverence for the subject material.
Yeah.
But it's Grease for teenagers who fuck is the best description ever. It is a broke man's Grease, though.
Yeah.
But no, I have not seen Crybaby in a long time. For those who don't know, I know I talk about a lot of other actors on here and actresses. I think they're all just actors now. I'm not trying to disrespect. I don't know. I was a huge, they call them stans now, but I was a giant Johnny Depp fan for a very long time.
Yeah.
I always kind of liked the guy. Blow is one of my favorite movies of all time.
Yeah.
I brought it up on this several times. There was a day I met a good shout out to friend, Bedor, good family friend of ours. We went to Blockbuster and we rented 2 movies, and they happened to be Blow and Donnie Brasco. And I watched them both in the
life changing.
I was like, I didn't know Johnny Depp did that. I knew it was Edward Scissorhands and shit. And I was like, this fucking guy's incredible. And so then, a little bit later, Pirates of the Caribbean came out, and I kind of just stayed with him through that time, and then went back and checked his whole catalog. So I have owned some super deep cut Johnny Depp movies. If he's in it for a split second, at one point I owned that movie.
Yeah.
I think he's an incredible talent, and I don't want to get into all the controversy or whatever, but he was my guy for a long time. So
yeah.
I watched all of his films, and Crybaby was one of them. And I remember my friend John was fucking with me because I had bought it on my Johnny Depp fandom thing,
right,
without seeing it. He was like, "Oh yeah, man, it's a fun movie. Well, just take a drink every time they say Crybaby." And I didn't realize he was completely fucking with me. That is the equivalency of taking a shot every time Scarface says the word fuck. You're going to be hammered by the time they put the money in the counting machine. That's a true story, by the way, because that's what happened to me. You're going to be wasted a third of the way through the movie. Right. And that's what happened to me. And I was like, oh, he's fucking with me. Right when they get to the song, Crybaby, Crybaby, Cry. I was like, wait a second.
Yeah.
Wait, I'm just chugging beers. So, but I dug it though, man.
Yeah, like I said, it's really fun. John Waters camp. It's a fun musical. It's basically about growing up in Baltimore in this fictional 1950s universe. And
Baltimore, that sounds like a bird or something.
It is a bird. That's right. Yeah, but like I said, it's just a send up to Grease and all those classic teeny bopper movies of the 50s and 60s. So.
I like the alphabet killer. Remember that scene that they do in the rain? The lightning strikes after every.
His dad was the alphabet killer, and he talks about I'd listen to him every night, counting them off. A, B,
Thunderstrike.
And then they the state executes his mom.
Why did they do it again?
Well, hell, she couldn't even spell, but they executed her just the same.
Just the same. Yeah. That's cold blooded.
Yeah, it's hysterical. It's definitely parody at its finest, but in a really loving send up.
Yeah, no, good movie though. What's the rating?
I'm gonna give it a single solitary teardrop.
Oh, I see what he did there. Deep cut references, even though it's not that deep of a cut. Either way, Yeah, Johnny Depp, man, that's my guy.
Yeah.
Anything else on the list of the WBW?
So to flip the script and go from something that I absolutely adored into something that I had to sludge through, I saw Dracula Untold.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Let me see. I want to say it came out in 2002.
No, it was definitely later than that.
No.
Oh, I bet money because
2014. You were so right.
Yeah,
2014.
Did not come out when I was in high school.
Yeah. It's a slog, dude. It was. It's not great, but it's not good.
It's not great, but it's not good.
Yeah.
What is it?
I mean,
you're only got about two more options.
I mean, it's serviceable. Like it's a perfectly fine, like popcorn munching, special effects romp, but it's just boring for the most part. It's just boring as shit. It's a lot of exposition and buffoonery, bookended by like really CGI laden action sequences, which is fine if that's what you're looking for, but it's Dracula. There was so much more to play with, and you guys just went like, it's like Dracula, but the Fast and the Furious. Let's do this. Like, all right, cool. Why not?
Would you say that it was the untold story of Dracula?
I would say it's the didn't need to be told story.
Not told for a reason. Right. The part we're left out of the annals of history for a reason.
We can just skip that one. We're good. We're good.
The abridged Dracula, abridged.
That's right.
Trust us. Anyway, no, I've actually seen that movie. Quick story: there was a friend of mine. She worked at the movie theater, and I did my whole spiel about how I thought Dracula is the greatest love story ever told. It was my favorite love story. Sarah Marshall later kind of stole it from me and kind of put it on its own thing, but same sentiment in the sense.
So you're at least as smart as Jason Segel. So.
At least that, or at least have the same level of appreciation for Dracula.
Right.
Although I will say this, my thoughts were always kind of there, and I tried to explain it to people, and then he explained it better than I did.
You just say what I was trying to say, but smarter.
Check that Boondocks reference. There's been 2 this episode. So they what's the word, pontificated? Go ahead and check that one. We're 3 for 3. Somebody's winning today. Mail in your secret bingo ballots to the What You've Been Watching podcast at gmail.com. Forgot where I was going with the story, but anyways, so I told her the whole spiel about Dracula being my favorite love story, and became friends later, and she ended up giving me a Dracula Untold poster. So I had it for a very long time, and I was like, didn't have the heart to tell, but like, I like the Bram Stoker's one a lot. But it was a really nice gesture, and I was like, oh, that was kind of cool. So I had it for a very long time, just for no reason whatsoever. Not sure what happened to it, but if I find it and we get a camera, you guys will see it on YouTube soon. Hopefully.
It's going up. It's going up on the studios.
Yeah, I remember that movie I wanted to like it, so I just really looked at it really optimistically, of just being like, I want to like this movie because I got the poster, like, why not?
Right.
And so I remember there was a scene where he goes and fights a bunch, I think it was the Turks, right?
Yeah, the Ottomans, Turks, whatever.
Yeah, and it was on like this giant like valley between like these mountainous thing or whatever. And I remember that was a pretty cool scene. It was really CGI laden, but like he was full Dracula powers, and he just ran through like an entire army of humans.
Oh yeah, he's
like,
snapping necks and taking people's swords and stabbing them through. Like, it's all very PG violence, but like he's transforming into a flock or a swarm, or I don't know what the terminology for a group of bats.
Murder of crows, but of bats,
a school of bats. I don't know. But yeah, he's turning into a large, batch.
Look, if you want biology terms, you're on the wrong podcast. Or like a gaggle of sharks. I don't fucking know.
Gaggle of sharks.
Anyway,
it's called a dun-dun of sharks. Dun-dun.
Like, what did the shark say, John?
No.
Oh man, callbacks. Anyway,
yeah.
So he's transforming to bats.
Yeah, but he's transforming into like a whole swarm of bats, and then he's controlling bats with his mind, and he turns the swarm of bats into a huge fist, which rises into the air and then smashes down on the army and like sends people scattering. And yeah, it's a whole.
He kills an entire army. It's like hundreds of dudes, and he's one guy, and he's just like, ain't got shit on me.
Right.
Like, God forbid somebody had one wooden stake, and it's like, oh, this, all my powers drained away. Garlic, oh.
I ate too much garlic and he farted.
Oh man. No, I remember that scene being really cool, but I remember like my standard of what I consider Dracula, like he's supposed to be like this broken man, and they kind of shoehorn in like spoilers, they kill his wife,
Right.
and I was just like, well,
Of course.
I knew they had to do that, but it
Right.
was just kind of lame. It was like, and now he's like, no mercy for anyone. And it was kind of cool to see him unhinged. Like that was the one part I kind of did like about the movie, but I remember the rest of it I just felt like was a completely missed mark.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it does have Charles Dance from, Game of Thrones, and you know who Charles Dance is.
Speaking of things I don't know, just like Charles Dance, who I don't know who that is because I've never seen Game of Thrones, and I probably won't in my life because that's too late for me now. Who's the star of this?
His name was Evan Lucas.
Lucas Evans?
Lucas Evans, that's the one.
So, I thought that guy
Uh-huh.
was the same guy that was the bad guy in 300. Was the same guy from
Dominic West.
Sure.
Yeah, Dominic West, right?
Yeah, apparently, yes, it is Dominic West. I thought those were the exact same people. I had no idea. And then also in this movie is another guy who I thought was again the same person until I saw this movie, and I was like, oh shit, those are different people? Dominic Cooper.
Oh yeah, he was Preacher, and God, what else did he do?
He was in one of the Hobbit movies, wasn't he?
Yes, yeah.
Wasn't he?
Yeah.
But yeah, his face looks different, but his name was too similar to Dominic West and Luke or Lucas Evans or whatever. And I just mixed them up. I was like, oh shit, like I learned something new today. That those are all different people.
It's like Ryan Felipe, Ryan Gosling kind of thing.
I'll say this. You can fill in the blanks. I had a friend that said that a certain demographic of people look the exact same.
You're talking about white people, right?
Yes. And he had said, he's like, the Oscar-winning movie, The Departed. He was like, I couldn't stand that movie. I was like, why? He's like, I kept forgetting which white boy was which one. Like, was it DiCaprio or? And it made me laugh. It's like an Oscar-winning, like one Best Picture, Best Director, all that shit. He's like,
they had one black guy. I knew who that was.
I know. He's like, I couldn't remember which white boy was which white boy. And when he was breaking it down like that, I was dying laughing. But I think I might suffer that fate on this one. I didn't know it was three different people. So apparently, Dracula Untold brought something to the light for me. So
hey, I see what you did there.
Hey, that's what I did. Yeah. He also didn't he like kill. He like turns on his own people too. He becomes like the last vampire or some shit.
Yeah. Spoiler alert.
Yeah, just spoil. 2014.
Yeah.
That also was. I think they greenlit this because they were gonna start using him as the springboard for the Universal Dark.
Yeah.
And then it didn't do well, so they used the Tom Cruise The Mummy movie, which didn't do well either.
And then they just abandoned the whole thing.
And then they were just like, we're out.
Right. Yeah, they had just abandoned the whole thing. But yes, that at some point during the end, he kills the Turkish emperor or whatever that was trying to ravage his land.
Yeah, he fucks those people up.
Yeah. So he kills them and he drags the body out. And at this point, he's turned, like after his wife dies, he just turns his whole like village into vampires because they're like, yes, we will help you seek revenge. And these people have killed, half of our population and whatever. So as he drags the body out, the villagers all swarm on him. They're like, yeah, now we're gonna take the war to the rest of humanity, and we're gonna trample the humans and feed on them for eternity. And he's like, no, we must never. And literally just uses Dracula magic to part the clouds, and the sun comes out, and he burns them all alive. So it's like, oh, well, but that was the thing you were going for the whole time. It's like, I gotta save my people. Now they're all dead. And like, why? What was okay?
Yeah, I remember.
Well, as long as your kid survives, I guess that's all right.
Yeah, no, he burns them all alive. I remember like the rules of being a vampire in that were very weird. Like I didn't mind that was just a cool scene, but like I remember like the way they broke down the rules of somebody being a vampire was like super overly complicated and the reasonings as to why. So I don't know. It is what it is. I know if you bite them and you don't die, that's a werewolf. But
it's something like that.
Something like that. And silver has something to do with something. I know they were fighting on a big pile of silver, and his senses were all wonky. Or whatever.
Exactly.
I'm like, he's a fuck. I don't know. Whatever. Either way, what would you rate it? I would give it.
I'm gonna give it 3 days of useless vampirism.
I'm gonna give it 8 Encyclopedia Britannica. Whatever volumes.
Okay.
Because it was bookended. I don't know where I was going. Bookended with cool stuff. I was on my feet are tired.
I was gonna say There was some leather on that joke.
Yeah, whatever. Look, our rating system is very serious, and I appreciate you scoffing. All right? Very serious. This is the absolute authority on all things. Don't worry about your A minuses out of your stupid ass New York Times or your Peter Travers at Rolling Stone, that fucking bum. You turn to WBW Podcast for all your hot reviews of movies that have come out in 2014 and beyond.
I would like to say that the views of one MD3 do not reflect the views of everyone here at What You've Been Watching Studios. I, for one, Peter Travers, would like to reach out to you and have you please come on the podcast at any time.
I will file that for consideration. I might amend my previous statements.
Tomorrow on corrections.
Yeah. Also, behind the scenes, Michael was once again trying to weasel out of watching It's Pat the movie. And I wish we would have had the mic on. Apparently, his co-worker, Dustin, shout out to him.
Yeah.
You can tell the story, and I'll tell him how you're trying to weasel out. You're not getting out of watching It's Pat.
I mean, there's not much to tell. Basically, just he was listening to the SNL episode, and he was like, "Yeah, I remember like seeing that movie, like just." When he was listening to it, was like it brought back this whole flood of memories that I guess I had suppressed or whatever, because I remember seeing that movie one night like a sleepover or something like that, and it's not good, and I feel kind of justified in that like we can just walk away from it now.
And I told Michael what he's trying to do there. First off, I caught on to his little scheme. What he was trying to do was say that because he was trying to live through Dustin vicariously. Oh, he's seen it and it brought up a conversation, so now I don't have to watch it. And I said, get back in the room. Those credits don't transfer, sir. And I don't usually get bossy like this, but sometimes I need to draw a line in the sand.
Listen, I have seen every Steven Seagal movie ever made, which absolutely makes me a Hapkido master.
Yeah, well, maybe his brand of Hapkido.
I mean, it worked for Steven Seagal.
Yeah, I would. You know what we need to do? I'm gonna write this down now. Is a kung fu or a karate movie, and tell you the differences in each and every one of them. And I'll tell you my problem with Steven Seagal, and it started a bad trend in movies for a long time.
Oh no!
And I'll deep dive into what each of them did right and what each of them did wrong. There's a lot for Steven Seagal, and one he just sounds like a fucking terrible human being and a pain in the ass to work with. But what he did do was he started this trend where he would just walk through people.
Yeah.
Like there would be a room filled with guns, and he would just walk in a straight line and like punch somebody once, and they're just like, oh. And like he never got beat up in any of his movies except for maybe Under Siege. After that, like he just walked through motherfuckers. Like, that's just what it was.
Hate to tell you, Hulk Hogan did it first.
Yeah, maybe, but he was the Hulkster. He gets a pat. He's way more charismatic than Seagal.
This is also true.
So, but yeah, like I'll save it for later. Like Van Damme got stabbed and shit, and that was cool.
Yeah.
Like, oh, this dude gets fucked up. So, but yeah. Seagal, we're coming back.
We're coming for you.
I'm pointing at Michael. Y'all can't see it, but I'm hot with the pen in the back end of this thing. I got some notes about a certain up-and-coming directors, some COEN Brothers movie that you watched as well.
Oh yeah. Just rewatched Oh Brother Where Art Thou. Just we were talking about it, I think on the last podcast or maybe the one beforehand, and was just kind of scrolling through and decided, you know what, man, like I'm gonna go revisit that one, and I just want to say. We were 100% correct. We are really good at what we do.
Remember when I told you our rating system?
That's right.
And you tried to question it? Look at him. Backpedaling now.
That's right. I come crawling back.
I told you.
But yeah. If you have not seen Oh Brother Where Art Thou, it literally is absolutely worth your time. It is such a well-crafted and well-put-together movie. And, I mean, it's writing and editing and acting all firing on all cylinders. Yeah. I mean, it's phenomenal.
Yeah, subtlety on point. On the nose on point. Like humorous without trying to be dramatic. It's like I said on the previous one. If somebody told me that was their favorite movie of all time, I'd be like, I buy it. I could get it. Yeah. Same thing with like Shawshank Redemption, which shout out to The Godfather. I'm pretty sure that is his favorite movie of all time, but not the movie The Godfather. Caleb. Sorry for those that were uninitiated. The Godfather Caleb himself has mentioned that that's his favorite movie. Shawshank Redemption, and that's one of those films. Like once again, if somebody says that, you're like, I can see it. Yeah, So yeah, Oh Brother Art Thou. Keep an eye on those Coen brothers, whatever they got going on. What's up with the Robert Eggers movie, the Nosferatu movie? Did you hear about this?
I've heard. I haven't seen thing one about it though. Okay. I'm so down. I mean, Robert Eggers doing a vampire movie? Yes, please. Let's do that.
Isn't it one of the Skarsgårds doing that? Or? I forget who it is.
Yeah, one of those handsome scarred guard boys.
Yeah.
I'm not sure which one, but
Yeah, sounds
I'm sure
incredible.
he's very tall and handsome and pale.
Probably. Either way, yeah. While we're on the subject of vampires and whatnot, but yeah. I did see something.
What'd you see? What you been watching?
There we go. Well, I'll go back to the other ones, but I did see the movie Spirited.
Okay.
But I want to come back to that because there's a good segue at the end I'm teasing right now.
Okay.
I did watch some Always Sunny in Philadelphia in my preparation to go, and also I just haven't watched the show in a while. I'm kind of cyclical with things like that. So I went back and watched some Always Sunny. Man, I love that show.
It's so good.
Honest confession, I never I wouldn't say I disliked the show, but I didn't really get it when it first came out for like the first 3 seasons or whatever. Because I just, and it's true, like what I'm about to say isn't false. I just thought it was them yelling at each other every episode. And I didn't think that it wasn't unfunny. I just thought that it made for bad television. I was like, I don't know what's going on. Every episode for at least 5 minutes, it's just a cacophony of, and no you.
Right.
And I was like, this is bad television. And then I didn't think it was unfunny, though. It was just kind of like, I didn't really get it. And then the more I started to get into it and just kind of, I guess you get comfortable with something, the more you watch it. Something clicked, and I was like, oh, they're terrible human beings.
Right.
And they're all like, this is the way they know how to be right, is just be louder than the other person. Like,
right.
Oh,
right.
okay.
Right.
Something clicked finally, and I was like, oh, cool. So, gotta say, I am a big fan of that show. I'm glad I got through whatever that phase was. But
yeah, they're basically the antithesis of every like family sitcom. Is like, every family sitcom is 30 minutes, and then somebody learns a lesson at the end of it. Like whatever problem you have is neatly, tied up in a bow, and everybody's better for it at the end. Always Sunny is they are constantly creating their own problems, usually unnecessarily, go through wild extremes to try and cope with it, affecting everyone around them in horrific and detrimental ways, and then they end up learning nothing through the entire time, like over something that really didn't even need to be started in the first place.
Yeah, I started watching some of the earlier seasons with like Rickety Cricket.
Before
he was just Matthew or whatever.
Yeah, Father Matthew.
Yeah. And Angie, we're up to I think season 4 now or whatever. And Angie was like, I think she missed one of his appearances. And he came back in the dance off. I was like, what happened to him? Like, or no, she saw when he got the gang gets whacked when he gets his legs broken or whatever, and then he hook him on cocaine. And like then he came back in the dance off. They're like, what happened to him? I was like, the crew happened to him. The gang happened to him. And I explained like by the end he has half his face is burned, one of his eyes is milky.
Oh yeah,
he has a giant scar. Like they fuck him up. Dude.
He's homeless. He's like sleeping in the junkyard.
He's like at one point he's like, I was a man of cloth. Poor Rickety Cricket. And just use it. When Charlie puts the cocaine in his gums and he just laughs maniacally. You're like, oh man, this poor guy. Get away from these people as soon as you can. But yeah, it's a good show though. Do you have any favorite episodes of
that? The episode that got me into the show was Who Pooped the Bed.
I just watched that.
That was
2 nights ago.
That again, I had seen like 1 or 2 episodes of it. I didn't really get it, but then Who Pooped the Bed was the turning point. Like again, like you said, like it all clicked, and I was like, oh, these people are just assholes. Like they're just assholes. That's it. That's the whole point of the show. Is just terrible people doing terrible things, and we all get to laugh at it. So
yeah, I would say the one that kind of brought my attention to the show because I heard some people kind of talk about it. But I was so enamored with Chappelle's show still at the time. I was like, nothing's getting through that.
Right. Still hasn't.
Yeah, still hasn't. It's hard to slip through the cracks. One day I'll do a full Chappelle dive and it'll be tough. But yeah, but yeah, I think the gang gets invincible when they try out for the Eagles.
Yeah,
was one that when I first came out, I was like, oh, that's really funny that they think that they're gonna make the Eagles, and,
right?
Whatever. And I started noticing like, oh, they just kind of take what they want to talk about, like, let's talk about gun control, but without being preachy. They just want to talk about it through the lens of these shitty people. And so like, let's do one about Invincible. And that was one, but I still didn't quite get the show. I think Flipadelphia might have been the one that really was like,
right.
That's when I really got.
Where they go into
they reignite the rivalry.
Flip Cup tournament.
Yeah, the gang reignites the rivalry, and they poison the entire frat group, the frat boys. and then they reignite the rivalry with the restaurant that doesn't even remember them.
Right.
That restaurant shows up at Philadelphia, and by then the gang's moved on to other things. I was like, oh, they're terrible people. Oh, I get it now. Like they double down on all the bullshit.
See, another good episode is I think it's called The Gang Gets Black.
Yeah.
But it's literally they wake up.
The rules?
Right, yes, yeah, where they wake up and they're each individual character is now black. And it's them living life in it almost like a Wiz kind of situation.
It is the Wiz.
It is the Wiz. Yeah. But it's hysterical. It's a really funny, like shocking take on racism and profiling, sort of, bias and whatnot through the lens of white people, but they make it work in a really weird way. Like you will be shocked and offended, but that's entirely the point.
It's weird. They have some episodes of that show that are banned, and I'm not going to say I don't understand why, because that's not really, if it offends somebody, whatever, to that point. The only thing I'll say is like they've never claimed to be role models. Like the whole point of the show is like they're terrible human beings,
right?
And I'm not saying that it's not for me to judge whether it's right or wrong if they put on blackface and do Lethal Weapon. Is it hilarious? Yes. Like it is. I'm gonna be very honest. Like you call me what you want, but like it's a fucking really funny episode.
Right.
But like the fact that they're like, well, that's offensive, and to say, oh, well, you put on blackface, like it is, yes, but like to say that there's zero context for the rest of the show.
Right.
And it's like that's the whole point. They're not apologetic people. They do dumb, terrible things all the time. And it's not even that's banned. That like I don't even really have a problem with it. It just makes it more difficult to watch. You still can, but it's not that that's banned. It's the fact that they ban that and then they do equally as horrific things, and that's still like fine. Like oh, that's comedy. And it's like what's the line?
Yeah, I agree. I don't want to get too into it, but I think once you start catering to, well, this offends me, and individualizing like what's offensive and sort of like catering to all of that, then like there's a certain policy of it's either all okay or none of it is okay. And you just have to at some point, especially in a comedy setting, be ready to accept that like not every joke is for you and not every joke is directed to I do think there's something to like you don't punch down, like you don't it's okay to talk about a taboo topic, but it's not really cool to make fun of the victim of that,
right?
Or to make fun of somebody who isn't in a position to fight back necessarily. But I think that being said, that still leaves you wide open to a lot, and there's a way to do it and do it correctly, but also you also can't go into something expecting to be offended and looking for offense. And you just might have to accept that at some point, like, well, that joke didn't work for me, but what is the harm? What is the context? Like what is it actually saying? Am I offended by the words that were used, or am I offended by what they were trying to say in that joke?
Or maybe, hear me out, unpopular opinion, maybe it's a you thing, and maybe, and this is the part that might be a little bit unpopular, maybe you should shut the fuck up. Sorry.
Cool. You just didn't like that episode.
Cool, that's fine.
Next one.
Yeah, cool. Like, it's all good. I was a little harsh, I understand, but like, there's plenty of comedians that say things, like they'll talk about, they'll say a certain word, the R word, the dreaded R word. Like I don't use that as much as like it's kind of eliminated from my vocabulary,
right? Because
I have a daughter who has special needs. So like when people say that, it's not that I'm mad that they say it. It's like, oh my God, you're a terrible person because you say it.
Right.
I mean, you have a right to say it. I might not fuck with that person. I might be like, all right, man, like chill out, whatever. But like, if you're doing a comedy bit and I don't like that because I don't find it that funny, like, okay, it doesn't mean you're a terrible comic and I should cancel your livelihood and all of your ways to make money. And I'm saying, oh, you have to pull that off of the internet. Like, I promise you I won't watch it anymore. And there's a way to say it that is like, okay, but I think it's lazy personally. But again, I don't get like super butthurt about it, but that's just me. It's whatever. I know South Park does some terrible things, but they get away with it because it's animated. And it's like, I've seen Cartman do terrible things.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
He fed somebody their parents. Like,
it's probably the worst thing you could ever do. Like, I don't care. Like, you could say the N-word all day long, and I'll be like, that's not cool. But the second you're like, oh, and by the way, I fed some kid his own parents, I'd be like, that's fucked.
That's really dark.
That's fucked.
Yeah. So Anyway, shout out to Always Sunny Cast. That was enough of our high horse, but yeah, not trying
So
to
just
think
to be
about it.
clear, we're pro N-word, not pro feeding your parents to your to your children.
Let's say this one more time. The thoughts and actions of half of what's been watching is not safe for the entire Academy of what's been watching. Anyways, no. You guys know our heart. You know where we're at. So the other thing I watched, I haven't seen in a while, man. I got me an episode of The Price is Right,
Nice.
bro. What are some? I also watched a little bit of Celebrity Jeopardy, and Celebrity Jeopardy makes me feel smart
Of course.
because they're much dumber. I want I know you're a Jeopardy buff.
Yeah.
You and my shout out to Father X. My dad is also a Jeopardy buff. I kind of resented the game just because I never cared. You guys were so into it, and I was like, man, fuck that stupid smarty pants show. Ask me how to cook a chicken. I'm gonna show you. So, yeah, but no, I like. It's a great game show though, man. You can't
Oh yeah.
argue that. So I watched some of the Celebrity Jeopardy. It made me feel special. But even when I watch like regular Jeopardy, like 80% of the show, I don't know.
Right.
But there's like every once in a while I'll get one category and I'm like, booyah, home run.
Oh yeah.
And I know everything about it. And it's
yeah.
usually the weirdest shit ever.
Yeah.
Or it's
that's what you live for, where it's like that's the time where you get to show off to your friends where they're like comic book writers and graphic novels, and you're like, I'm about to fucking ruin you guys.
Yeah.
I'm about to run rampant.
I remember they had in Double Jeopardy, they had a Simpsons category, and this was years ago, and I was like, boom, like, home run. Like, this character's middle name is, and I was like, what is Nasahama Pimapechalon? Apu. So they're like, what? Like, I was talking like season this, season that. I was in it. So, yeah, so I got me a couple episodes of that. What are some of your favorite game shows, though, man?
Oh man,
Jeopardy, obviously.
Jeopardy, I'm a big fan of. I always liked Wheel of Fortune, just because that was the lead into Jeopardy. That was, getting to solve the puzzles, and I was always moderately good at it, but never good enough to where like I felt like I could, make a standing or whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
And plus, it's just fun trying to guess along, and like, especially if you're playing with a group and somebody's trying to guess the phrase, and you're like, you stupid ass, like those aren't even the same letters. Like you're not even using what's on the board right now. What are you doing?
When we get a Z,
right,
a 7. What did it say? Family Guy, the Batman symbol.
Batman symbol. And then that weird squiggly mark that you get when you rub your eye.
Right. Yeah. Look at one of those. Yeah. Nah, I mean that's all cool. I'm a Price is Right guy, man. I think the best I think the best block of television, whether it be prime time or not, is Let's Make a Deal.
Yes.
And then straight into The Price is Right.
And I gotta say, as much as I'm a fan of the original, I think Wayne Brady is a far superior host in terms of like personality and charisma. I mean, that guy just fueled by fairy dust and like other people's applause.
That dude, I'm gonna say some shit about Wayne Brady.
Quick. Be real, son.
You put some respect on Wayne Brady's name. That dude is a G. Even Chappelle said it. He was like, man, when he shot the episode, the Wayne Brady show episode, he was like, Wayne's gangster came out. Like some of that stuff was completely unscripted that he did. And no, that guy jumped on Sway in the Morning. It's a talk show on Sirius XM. You can find it on YouTube.
I'm sorry, I don't listen to hip hop.
I know. They do something on there called the 5 Fingers of Death, and it's where you rap over 5 different beats. And a lot of like rappers go on there, and nowadays, quote unquote, freestyling is they have a verse that they wrote down. It's not really freestyling.
Sure.
Wayne Brady was not that way, and Sway, the host, warned everybody. He's like, for all you rappers out there that think you're just gonna come on this show and just come off the top of your head, I would recommend that you write something down first in case, because this man, and he's pointing out Wayne Brady, is about to show you how you do it. He is the standard for doing this. Don't come on this show unless you're at this level.
You might get embarrassed.
And that's exactly what he said. And he's like, this is the only person that he's so good at it. We throw him words while he's doing it. We give him a subject matter. He'll be like, rap about this. And on the next beat, he'll make a whole song about couches. And he'll be like, I'm not even going to try to do it because I'm not Wayne Brady. But I always try. I thought about it. I'm not Wayne Brady, son. So put some respect on Wayne Brady's name. So yes,
absolute 100% respect.
But I'll say all that. On The Price is Right, when I was watching that, they got a new studio, man. I think they COVID proofed it or whatever.
Oh really?
And yeah, it looked different. I don't know if it was a rerun or not, but everyone was sitting in like groups of 2. I was like, man, it made me feel like like everyone in the audience was participating, and I need them to play a specific role. That is just shout and yell
random numbers
and throw up.
428, 745,
Yeah.
612.
Yep, to a point where it's
$1.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, but it was great though.
I always love when somebody's playing Price is Right, and you can tell they're looking for somebody in the audience because they're like, "Help me out here, Karen. I need your help," and they can't fucking find them, and so they're just like, "Fine, you. What do you got? What do you got?"
Yeah, that's the best. They look at the whole crowd. Yeah, this. So now that show is actually on my bucket list, man. I want to be on The Price is Right.
Go do it.
Like for real.
Apparently, all you got to do is just show up.
That's what I'd like to do. They still got male models on there. I know Bob Barker wouldn't have stood for that.
He would not have at all.
Hell, you think this is? Drew Carey's made it soft. Oh wait, I just realized what I just said there. But no, man, that is the game show of game shows, man.
Yeah,
motherfucking. Yeah, Price is Right, dude.
And then I don't know. I always liked Password, $10,000 Password.
Oh yeah,
or was it $10,000
Pyramid? There's Password. I don't know.
Yeah, Password. Yeah.
That's where you can. Oh yeah, the password is
Right. So it'd be like the password would be like picnic, and you'd be like basket, and then somebody else would be like cradle. No, whatever. Like you get some of the classic TV personalities on there, and who like really know how to make it funny, like Sammy Davis Jr. or like B. Arthur or Carol Burnett or something like that. Just somebody who's just gonna cut up. Oh my God, it was so much fun. So much fun.
Yeah, dude. Shout out to the old school comics, man. They just put them on, give them a camera, and be like, go. And they just did their thing. So they were they were so sharp with it, man. Yeah. Man, like the Joan Rivers of the world.
Shout out to Joan Rivers.
Man. Anyways, yeah. Price is Right. Those are some of my favorite game shows. Watched a couple episodes. But to bring it back, though, I watched the movie Spirited.
Yes.
On Apple TV. It's Ryan Reynolds and Will Ferrell. I enunciated that more than I should have. But I felt thick in the throat when I was saying it. Will Ferrell, Ryan Reynolds. It's ultimately Scrooged, but it kind of shows the behind the scenes of how the hauntings work.
Mm-hmm.
And so, I guess I'll spoil it. Ultimately, Will Ferrell plays Ebenezer Scrooge, and he becomes one of the ghosts that haunts people. And so he kind of pays it forward. And it's all about, can somebody really change? Can they really be redeemed?
Mm-hmm.
Because, or are we just inherently stuck with who we are? They have this giant catalog of people. Half of them are, some of them are, they call them unredeemable, and the other ones are redeemable. And so every holiday they go out and they try to find somebody to make a difference in the world. And Will Ferrell feels that they've been shooting too low. They've been like, oh, okay, well, like, what's the real difference? This person works at a Walmart,
Mm-hmm.
And they talk about the ripple effect and how every good deed spreads its, whatever. So he wants a bigger fish to fry, and that's Ryan Reynolds.
Cause a bigger ripple will impact
pretty much
our lives.
Pretty
okay,
much.
Gotcha.
So ultimately, he goes after Ryan Reynolds, who works at this giant PR firm. And his whole thing is like, you meet him, and he's trying to get better PR for Canadian Christmas tree farmers.
Mm-hmm. And
he has this, and it's a musical. I should have led with that. It's a musical, and I've never seen Ryan Reynolds do a musical before. Got to give him credit on this.
Really?
He really, you can tell, really took it very seriously.
Awesome.
Very seriously. So anyways, at the Christmas tree thing, they break into this giant song and dance, and it's about how it's just the funny ways of like making them hate your enemy and this and that and the third, and like trashes plastic Christmas trees and this and that, and tells this beautiful song and dance about, Canadian Christmas tree farmers. It gets everyone riled up, and Will Ferrell sees this and he's like, that's the guy, that's the guy, that's the guy. Come to find out, Ryan Reynolds is unredeemable. He's just so bad that he can't be redeemed. And Will Ferrell says, pretty much doubles down on this and says, I'll cash in my pension. I'll retire right now as the ghost of Christmas present if you let me get a shot at this guy.
Sure.
And so that's ultimately what happens.
Okay.
And they go back and forth and it's kind of a fun back and forth. The ghost of Christmas future is voiced by Tracy Morgan.
Oh, nice.
This is really funny.
Wait, so the skeletal, like, look here, Ebenezer Scrooge.
Yeah. But all he can do was point. Nobody can hear him say the actual person they're haunting. his words never come out, so it's just him pointing
Uh-huh.
all the time. But when he's behind the scenes, everybody else can hear him. And it's typical Tracy Morgan being hilarious. And I think he actually sings in it at one point.
Sweet.
He hits a couple notes, pretty good. So it was the music in it is actually really, really good. It was Justin Paul who did La La Land and a bunch of other stuff. He's been really popular. And I'm gonna mispronounce his name. Benj Pasek, Benjpasek. I apologize if I just botched your name. That's what we do here at What You Watching.
One of them Polak names.
Sure. And it was directed and written by Sean Anders. Actually, a pretty good movie, though, man. I think as I'm getting older, I cry at more stuff, which is a bad sign.
Pussy.
Yep, very much. Pile it on. But I actually did kind of well up. There's a moment, I won't spoil it, but it's just about human nature and can we really be redeemed? And it just kind of was, it was a good moment. I had the dogs with me and they were all kind of nestled up and I was cuddling on the couch. And it's just one of those moments. It wasn't necessarily, it was the movie, but you kind of look at it as a whole and you're like, oh man, this is kind of a nice moment that,
kind of where it's at, right?
Yeah. And so what they were talking about in the movie at that moment, kind of looking at that, it reminded me of like why I love movies enough to start a fucking podcast. Somebody asked me, they're like, oh man, you really like movies. I go, yeah, enough to start a fucking podcast.
Dedicate time to it all the time.
So it did kind of warm me in that way. But I do want to circle back to Ryan Reynolds though. Like I believe that like when he does Deadpool, obviously has a team of stuntmen that are doing some of the flips for him. Mm-hmm. I give him credit though; he really does dive into that role. This one, when it comes to like the song and dance numbers, I can tell he really put in the work.
Good.
He does a little tap number,
nice,
really quick, and him and Will Ferrell actually go back and forth. And there's a little meta joke about like, yeah, I've never done anything like that in my life. I've never expressed myself. It's incredibly, or he said, I've never tap danced before. It's an incredibly expressive medium. And, and you can tell like he's talking about the character he's playing,
right?
But like you can tell it's also Ryan Reynolds being
shining through for a minute.
Yeah. It's very much so though a play. Like you can tell it was on sound stages. Some of it is shot in Boston, which they green screen New York in, but a lot of it is on soundstage, and you can tell like it's shot like a play. Like it reminds you like when you watch the Hamilton quote unquote movie. There's scenes in this movie that are like, oh, they actually got a theater trope to do all this stuff.
Right.
Like it's the way it's shot, like the coloring, the lighting, everything. You're like, oh, this is ready to be adapted for the stage at any moment.
So you think it's more just I don't want to say cash grab, but you think that they're like setting themselves up for like future marketing and future runs in terms of like, I mean, based on the hit Ryan Reynolds movie, you know.
Very possibly. I can tell whoever wrote the movie, I mean, definitely the songs as well, but the director, Sean Anders, I think he wrote the screenplay and directed it.
Okay.
You can tell that he has a theater background.
Right. Oh, well, so maybe it was the flip side then. Maybe it was supposed to be a play and he couldn't get off the ground and then, then they flipped into a movie, maybe.
I'd love to do some research on that and figure it out on another day, but I did enjoy it though, man. It runs, you feel the length a little bit, but it's pretty good. It's pretty good. It was pretty enjoyable. I got to give also Will Ferrell credit for saying that like Elf, whatever you feel about it or not, is a Christmas classic. Just in the ether of the world, like people, that is a beloved movie. Yeah. Shout out to Johnny Favs as well for making Iron Man and Elf. Like,
come on, man. What an incredible year he had.
Yeah, I know. I know. But like to do another Christmas movie after you already have a bona fide classic under your belt is pretty bold. Mm-hmm. And so for him to say like, if I'm gonna do this, I'm swinging like to a way different beat. Mm-hmm. Obviously pun intended, but like it's got to be something very different, and I can't just do Elf again. Like I've done that.
Right.
And so he's done some one man plays. He actually was nominated for a Tony for his work. Will Ferrell was when he did George W. Bush. There's a stand-up. It's a stand-up comedy. If you haven't seen it, it's called You're Welcome.
And so it's just him doing his George Bush from SNL, basically.
Yeah, and it's a one-man show, but he got nominated for a Tony for it. So he has a little bit of theater background, and you can tell that he really, as well, sunk his teeth into this role.
Cool.
And so I don't know if only time will tell if it's going to stand the time as a Christmas classic, but I definitely enjoyed it. I typically try to not watch holiday movies before Thanksgiving or Christmas movies before Thanksgiving. I already broke that rule, so it is what it is. They do have an interesting romance in it. I think it's The Vacation, or what's the movie that Cameron Diaz switches with what's her name from Titanic? Kate Winslet.
Oh, The Holiday.
The Holiday.
Yeah.
Where they switch, and in the
Yeah, and then Kate Winslet hooks up with Jack Black, and I was like, this movie has no truth in it. There was no part where Kate Winslet's like, I like the sloppy American man.
Yeah, and I fuck with Jack Black.
I do too, but there's just no fucking way.
Yeah, and he's cast perfectly in the movie, and it was a nice change of pace to not see him like. I was afraid that they were going to be like, oh, he's friend rolled in this movie,
right?
And at least he gets to he wins out with Kate Winslet or whatever. There's actually a romance that kind of happens in this movie
between Will Ferrell and Ryan Reynolds.
No, it's a bromance, absolutely. But it's
I'll watch that movie.
I would too. But it's Octavia Spencer and Will Ferrell.
Really?
Yeah, and I won't say how it comes to play, but like it actually, like when you watch it kind of makes sense in a weird way. You're like, I can see these two doing a romantic comedy together.
All right.
She's a really good actress.
I mean, she won a freaking Oscar. So
she played God, by the way, in that Sam Worthington movie. I forget what it's called, but it was Big Mama, whatever. But
Big Mama.
That's what she called herself, Big Mama, whatever it was. I don't remember. I saw it in rehab. I don't know. She did play God though. But no, I was really taken aback by that, man. The fact that Will Ferrell and Octavia Spencer, I didn't think the chemistry would hit off, but like. Actually kind of carried it to a point of believability, and you're like, oh. And Ryan Reynolds plays an absolute asshole in this, which is what you want.
Yeah, if you're gonna hire somebody, that's who you want, right?
From Waiting and all the other stuff. Like he fell into that pretty easily. So I would give it 72 Christmas reads.
Ooh, 72 Christmas reads.
72 Christmas reads.
That's a lot of Christmas reads.
That's a lot of reads.
You're going to have to distribute those.
You might have to. I brought all that up. You wanted to talk about a movie, so that's why I saved that for the segue. You wanted to talk about a certain Christmas movie that's coming out?
Oh, yeah. Violent Night from featuring David Harbour. So basically, Johnny Leguizamo.
Johnny Legs, baby.
Tries to break into a super rich mansion because they have $300 million in the vault, and it's on the same night that Santa Claus comes a calling.
Is coming to town.
And
I've heard such tales.
Yeah. And then David Harbour as Santa Claus proceeds to John McClane all over his ass. So I can't wait to see it. It's going to be great.
I love how John Wick has become its own genre of movie.
Yeah.
It kind of started with Taken. They called it Jerry Action back then.
Jerry Action?
Yeah. That's what
old people kicking ass.
Yeah, the Jerry Action, which I thought was fucking... If it's not happening, if I made that up and put that back in my own brain somehow, I'm taking full credit. I don't think I did.
God damn it. Yeah. I want the history books to know.
If not, we're going to make it hot. We're going to make that right over camera.
Hashtag geriatrics.
Hashtag Jerry Action. But like, yeah, ever since John Wick hit, everyone's got like they're like, oh, it's like John Wick meets this. Like, Bob Odenkirk did it in Nobody.
Yeah.
I guess Tom Cruise does it all the time. But what's his name? David Harbour's getting his bite of the apple now. There's been other movies that I can't think of, but Taken was kind of the first one, and then John Wick was like, oh no, we're gonna do a Jackie Chan movie like this, and it's gonna be real deal action.
It's gonna be dope.
Which, quite frankly, let's be real. Another movie I saw, god dang it, on the plane. Gotta talk about it real quick, because it does fall into it. Bullet Train.
How is?
Directed by the guys who did the John Wick movies.
You're talking about Brad Pitt.
Brad Pitt. I knew there was another one.
Okay.
Man, our segues are so good. They're so deep implanted in my brain. Golly. Bullet Train, directed by one of the guys that did John Wick or Deadpool 2. There's Chad Stahelski and David Leitch are the two guys. It's one of them. I don't want to give credit. I'm admitting I didn't pay attention. I know it's one of those guys. I think it's Chad. Great movie though. Great movie. Exactly what you think it is. It's kind of. You ever seen the movie Smoking Aces?
Yes. Yeah. Smoking Aces is
by the director of The Grey.
Yes.
Directed the 18.
Yeah. But yeah, Smoking Aces. I'm trying to think of who the main actor is.
It's Piven.
Yeah, Jeremy Piven. Yes.
Jeremy. It's like that in the sense of like, well, in Smoking Aces, Jeremy Piven's in it. Ryan Reynolds is actually in it. God dang, my segues are getting good. Yeah, Ryan Reynolds is in it. Sorry while I toot my own horn. I give my segue 73 Christmases.
Oops.
No, Ryan Reynolds is in Smoking Aces. Piven, Common. Chris Pine
Chris
was
Pine's
the
in it,
first time
that's
I remember
right.
ever seeing him. Affleck's in it briefly. There's tons of people. What's the big?
I'm the Juggernaut, bitch.
Yeah, no, he's not in it, but the other big dude is. Vinny Jones is in it too.
Yeah.
Yeah, as the Butcher Brothers or whatever they are.
Right.
Yeah. But it's a lot like that. In the sense of its multiple.
Alicia Keys plays a sniper in that movie.
And Taraji P. Henson.
Has goddamn right.
A crush on Alicia Keys. Yeah. Shout out to Taraji.
Anywho's. That was Smoking Aces.
Yeah. But no, it's a lot like that in the sense
we're all over the place.
It's all good, man. My segues are so good, they're just bam. But no, it's a lot like that in the sense of its multiple stories converging onto one. Not quite, but a little bit Pulp Fiction-ish, where it's like one briefcase and how it... Yeah, Pulp Fiction-ish. But it's one briefcase and how it affects all these other assassins and killers and ne'er-do-wells on this train and how they all kind of converge under this one. It's the White Devil. Or whatever.
It's like Pulp Fiction meets John Wick, is what you're saying.
Somewhat. Meets Smoking Aces. Smoking Aces is a better call for it. Okay. But Brad Pitt is legitimately hilarious in it, but he's so laid back and he's been doing this shit for so long now.
Yeah.
That like he pretty much plays like this dude who's trying to be non-confrontational, like this Buddhist. And they call him Ladybug because it's a lot like the reverse of Domino in Deadpool or just a Marvel comic book fame.
Right.
How like luck is always on her side.
Right. He always has the worst
luck. He always has the worst luck. Like he won't try to kill somebody. He'll be like, "Come on, man, like leave me alone." And they like throw a knife at him. The knife bounces and it cuts the wire, and it'll swing down and electrocute the fucking guy. And it's like I can't have nothing nice. Like this is never just easy with me. Like he walks away relatively unscathed, but everyone around him is just
cool. Yeah. Dig it.
So it's actually a really funny movie, man. I won't spoil who the big bad guy is, but there's a couple cameos in there.
Sweet.
Yeah. Sorry, that was a long way.
Bullet Train.
Check it out. Violent Night. Sorry to steal your thunder.
Nope, it's all good.
Violent Night.
So we have stuff to look forward to.
Okay. I am going to take a break because I've been running my flip-flops way too much. If you were looking for a Marcus-centric episode, sorry, but you got it. We are going to take a break. Unless you want to talk Violent Night real quick?
No, I think that pretty much covers it, man. Just David Harbour kicking ass as Santa Claus. It sounds like really campy, stupid fun, and plus, Johnny Legs is in there, who I love. So
I've already given him statues in underrated performances. Yeah. He's already in our pantheon of greats. We all know that. Him, Renner, Johnny Favs.
That's right.
They're in the What You Been Watching Hall of Fame. We will be right back after a message from our sponsor, Vibranium.
And we are back. Thank you for our sponsor, Vibranium. When you need to magic your science, Vibranium. It literally does everything.
No doubt.
Billy Mays here with another exciting...
My friend Jack Beasley used to come with so much energy. He'd be so quiet in the room, he'd just explode.
Billy Mays! With a new exciting prospect. It's called crack, and it's changing people's lives.
Yeah. No doubt. So, we are here to talk about Black Panther, Wakanda Forever. Always, am I catching? Michael's throwing up the salute. I thought he threw up his leftover right for just a second there.
Sir, if the military can train me how to throw a proper salute, like, look at my salute. My 45-degree angle is sharp. I got a sharp 45 on that. I know exactly how to place that.
Oh, man.
I can learn how to do Wakanda Forever.
Always right over left. It was a sharp 45, too. I don't know dick about it, but I do know that. Well, cool. Yeah, so... Yeah, Black Panther, Wakanda Forever, man. What'd you think?
Well,
give me the rundown, homie.
I mean, quite frankly, I loved it. A lot of that has to do with the nostalgia of finally getting to see Namor.
Yes.
Who I'm now going to refer to with this accent because he is so sexy and so Latino.
Yeah.
But... so I mean Namor, who arguably is one of the central figures in terms of Marvel canon, one of the literal first Avengers, the first
Defender.
the first mutant, sometimes foe, sometimes ally to Captain America, and everything in between. Uh, yeah, like it was great to see him writ large on the silver screen finally, and see him. I mean, absolutely beat the brakes off of everybody that he comes into contact with, and be an absolute champion. And more than that, it was a really good. It was a really good wake. It was a really good send off for Chadwick Boseman. I think that was a really central part of the movie, and I think that they handled it really expertly in terms of, you know, the entire story is about grief and letting go, and sort of at what point does grief turn to revenge, or does what at what point does the our own ability to let go of the past cloud our judgment, and I think that it was a really wonderfully told tale. I do have some problems with it, which we'll get into, but overall, I mean, it was absolutely entertaining and a thrill to watch from beginning to end.
I agree with that. Again, I mean, we'll get into some of the problems, but before I even get into those, like I wanted to say I thoroughly enjoyed it. I agree that it was it I'll get into it a little bit, but like I really did enjoy it. So before I start nitpicking anything, I want to give it the overall, like I enjoyed the shit out of this
Yeah, let's
movie.
let's talk about some things that
Ryan
worked
Ryan Coogler is that dude. If you are not sure
for
about
sure.
that, go watch this movie. I
Or
do.
Creed,
Yeah,
or
this
he did not Tigerland. What's the one I'm thinking of? The war movie.
I don't know. I know he did Fruitvale Station as well.
Oh, that's also
Yeah,
true.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. But either way, he's an incredible. I don't. He was not in an envious position. I mean, obviously, yeah, he's going to make a lot of money from this movie, but the fact that Chadwick Boseman was the Black Panther
right.
and his decision to, I mean, the fact that he passed away, obviously, rest in peace, Chadwick, and he was so beloved, and the character meant so much to so many people, and not just in the terms of like, oh man, like love me some this. It's like it meant the movie itself meant so much for black culture and black cinema. It was a super important
Yeah,
movie. Like
yeah.
I'm not trying to culture vulture or anything like that, but like just unarguably, like it just was. It was a very important movie for black cinema, having a black superhero doing the numbers that it did, and it didn't even get released in China, and because it doesn't sell over there. That's just what it is, and the
Right.
fact that it can do the numbers it did, like the first Black Panther, was a massive
Well, and
undertaking.
and really set the pace for all the Marvel movies that came after it in terms of
Yeah,
like it was literally Marvel recapturing the magic of Iron Man and Captain America in terms of like just a figure, a character that just captured the imagination of all demographics,
yeah,
women, children, men, old, young, black, white, Hispanic, like this whole idea of, oh, we've really got something on our hands now, and something that's going to propel us into the future, as far as like we can base entire series off of this guy, and then to have that like tragically ripped away in real life because of the loss of Chadwick Boseman.
yeah, and he was incredible in everything. I've never seen him in something and been like, oh, well, he missed the mark on that one. Like
Oh, he was always great.
he was
Yeah.
so fucking good. Like watch Get On Up. It's
Or 42, or In the
anything
Name
he's
of the
in.
King,
He's so
or
good.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
But no, I said it's not an enviable position to be in for Ryan Coogler, who co-wrote the script and directed it. And like I just remember how important the first Black Panther was. And I'm not going to make the whole segment about this, but we do need to touch on it just so I can
It's like a
explain.
touchstone. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. I remember watching a Target commercial, and it was two kids playing or whatever, and one was an African American child and one was a white child. And I remember they were running around, and it was like I remember the white kid put on the Black Panther mask,
yeah.
and I was like, how cool it was. And maybe like I don't know, I don't think they were trying to be like that. But like I remember the African American, the black kid, he put on like he had Captain America like a launcher or whatever,
Yeah.
and then the white kid put on the Black Panther mask. I was like, yo, I'm T'Challa, and like my whole life growing up, shout out to my friend Brandon Jones, which I'm gonna bring up a subject that I didn't want to, but Power Rangers, which rest in peace, Tommy
Also,
Oliver. Oh my
yeah,
God, dude,
yeah, yeah. Jason
Jason
David
David Frank.
Frank. Yep. Rest
Rest
in
in
peace.
peace. We got a whole thing for
Rest in
you.
Power
Rest
Ranger.
in Power Ranger. But Brandon Jones was he's a black kid, and I remember everybody told life was like, "Oh, you need to be Zach. You have to be Zach." And I remember Brandon in like kindergarten,
Oh, he had to be the Black
the
Ranger.
Black
Right,
Ranger. You have
right.
to be Zach, the Black Ranger. And I remember him saying like, "Why do I have to be the Black Ranger because I'm black?" Like,
Right.
in so many words, as a kindergarten, like that's fucked up. No, like I want to be the Red Ranger. I can be the Red Ranger.
Sure.
And I remember that was like such a learning moment for me. And like to see that roles kind of flipped, where it's like the white kid was like, "Yo, I want to be T'Challa." It was
Right.
like,
Right.
it was really important, like to have that representation of having action figures that look like you and something that crosses the medium. So to have that taken away, and like the fact that T'Challa, the character, means so much to so many people, just cinematically and just on a very personal level.
Yeah.
And the fact that you have to now write around the fact that it's a bold move, the fact that he said, we are not recasting T'Challa.
Right.
Like, we are going to do this movie without sans T'Challa. And, like, doesn't mean they never will recast him or there will never be another, but the fact that just like, we're doing this without him.
For this iteration, we're moving beyond Chadwick Boseman as T'Challa, and continuing the story.
And the fact that they said, we're going to take a movie to mourn, and I know we talked about this when they released the trailer a couple months back, but the fact that they said, hey, we're just going to take a movie and we're going to mourn, that is a bold fucking move.
I would like to take this time to point out that one of us showed up in all white for this movie.
He did not. He was not in all white.
Sir.
He also had a pointy hat. I thought this was the Black Panther thing. This is Black Panther party.
No.
Now he did have a white T-shirt on.
And white, brand new white hat. And,
he did.
And it wasn't pointy. It was a baseball cap.
It was a baseball hat. Yes. It did have a bean on the top. I did have a Black Panther shirt and Black Panther socks on, so I was in the spirit as well. But I did. Anyways, is what it is.
But yeah, like this movie really.
Also, strike that from the record. Anyways, go ahead.
But the fact that this whole movie, I mean, it really is. It's not just us as the audience mourning Chadwick's passing, but also the characters. You know, Shuri and Queen Ramona and really all of Wakanda taking time to move forward and sort of try to understand like what happens when all you have is the loss of someone and you're so used to having them in your life and so used to them being a part, and then it's just gone. And like, how do you function beyond that point? And like, do you go into grief? Do you go into revenge? Do you go into self-pity? Do you go into self-protection mode, or you know, just
what is the next step?
The various traumas that we all experience and how we sort of identify with that.
It's ultimately the Fleetwood Mac song, you know, the I've been afraid of changes because like I built my life around you. You know, and it's like, I feel what I do now. It is very odd, and I'm not like a conspirator, I'm not saying it like that, but it is very odd that the whole theme opened of Phase 4 in Marvel with grief and loss in WandaVision. That was the first part of Phase 4, and that was just, and then like it's been a theme throughout with Spider-Man losing Aunt May and Loki losing fucking everything again, and Thor losing. It's been a constant theme of just grief,
loss,
post you know, Hawkeye losing Natasha. That's been the major theme, and so in a weird way, I'm not saying it's a blessing by any means, but thematically, because that happened, it did fit in perfectly.
Oh, it is sort of thematically perfect, like in a really weird, macabre, like serendipitous kind of way. Like just like I wish it didn't have to be that way, but if you're going to close out with a whole section that's just about grief, then yeah, it would make sense to use something that uses real life grief and tragedy in order to just sort of be like, and here's the point we've been trying to make the entire time, you know?
Yeah, you're right. I wish it didn't happen that way. I think we all are very curious to read a script one day of the movie that could have been.
Yes.
If Chad, because I don't know. This is wild speculation, but I bet that's a hell of a movie.
Oh, it's drastically different than what we were seeing here, but probably not too much, just in terms of this. There's certain plot points that have to match up in terms of you know, Namor and Black Panther meeting and having their discussions and sort of the diplomacy of it all. You know, Namor comes and shows Shuri his lost world of what's it called? Talokan?
Talokan.
Talokan, right? Which is their substitute for Atlantis, but it's
Which
essentially the
works
same
beautifully.
thing. Oh
It's a
yeah,
fucking great pivot.
Yeah.
We talked about that on the trailer, but yeah, fucking great pivot.
So essentially we would get a lot of the same plot points, but also, but that being said, the way that they handle Shuri, spoiler alert, taking over the role of the Black Panther and essentially Wakanda's protector, and not just Wakanda, but the entire world protector, and also sort of dealing with the loss of her brother and somebody that she looked up to, and like the loss of her role model, the grief that she has in trying to understand, like, I have all this power. I live in the greatest nation in the world. I'm the smartest person, arguably, on this hemisphere of the planet. And I still can't save my brother, and I still can't save my country, and I still can't save, all the things that matter to me. So
Yeah.
what the fuck am I doing?
And we'll dive into it a little bit, but like she also resents it in a weird way. She's like,
Yeah.
"Fuck your old ways," and that's why she gets a special visitor in the movie later, because she is very much like, "Screw your stupid ass ceremony. Screw this whole like." We're trying to modernize Wakanda, and like here we are still holding on to this whole bullshit. And what did that get us?
Right.
Bunch of dead kings and family members that aren't with us anymore. It's a bunch of dead people that we worship.
Right. Like, and literally the whole world is knocking at our door.
Yeah, is now willing. Yeah, like what the fuck are we doing? I'll tell you this though, man. You were talking about some of the grief in the morning of Chadwick Boseman. You can tell.
By the way, we probably should have said spoilers.
Oh no!
But like, it's been out at this point, so just
we told y'all like 2 or 3 episodes ago that we were gonna talk Black Panther and that we were gonna spoil it. So if you're not an avid listener and you just got your feelings hurt because you haven't seen Black Panther, you should join the legions and go back retroactively and listen to some of our podcasts. We would love you to. We invite you to. Please, no anger. I take the anger out of that. But no, we are going to spoil it. If you need to stop, whatever. I know it's too late now, but yeah, sure is Black Panther. We were talking about the real life tragedy or whatever, and I'll tell you what sold me the ticket, and it was. I mean, let's be honest. I'm a shill for this shit. I would have seen it anyways.
Right.
They could have served like shots of hot dog poop being taken and been like Black Panther 2. It's got Namor. I'd be like, hey. But like, what really sold me the ticket, and again, not an enviable position. I was curious. What got me more than Namor being there was how are they going to handle the Black Panther situation? How are they going to ultimately, which what we know is, kill the Black Panther? Like they said that they're not recasting Chadwick Boseman. To do it with CGI, I was thinking like, well, maybe they'll do like a CGI thing and you won't actually see Chadwick. It'll just be like a clip of the Black Panther dying. I had all these grand speculations about how they were going to do it, and I was so mad at the brilliance of the simplicity as to fucking how they solved it. I don't mean the Black Panther problem, but for lack of better words, the Black Panther problem. Opening sequence, like cold open as hell. This is one of the coldest opens. Go back to episode 2 or 3, whichever it is, but or cold openings. On the cold open, they pretty much just tell you outright that the Black Panther has succumbed to an illness, a mysterious illness, and he's been fighting it alone by himself and didn't tell anybody. I got goosebumps when I just said that. Because, goddamn it, that is the exact mirror of what happened to Chadwick Boseman. And I was so, when they said that, I was like, fucking, of course.
Yeah.
Of course. That's
in one hand, I have to admit, it's a little cheap and underhanded. But that being said, like, how else should they have handled it? You know what I mean? Like the more information you give about, like, or the more backstory you give about the disease or whatever it is or what have you, like, it just opens up more plot holes and more things you have to deal with down the line. Like, they handled it about as well as they could have. And yeah, it's a little bit cheap, but
I didn't think
you have to, you know what I mean? Like you have to get that out of the way and address it in as few lines as possible, because the more time you dedicate to the actual death, I don't mean the consequences and repercussions of the death, but like the more time you spend on actually killing the Black Panther, it's just time wasted, and that's not what the movie's about. So yeah, it's chintzy a little bit, but I don't have a better solution. So
it's brilliant. I was like, fuck, of course that's the answer. Like, I was so mad at myself for not thinking of that.
I mean, they literally kill him off screen
in the first like opening couple
Right,
lines.
right. Shuri's running around trying to
Synthesize the
synthesize
heart
some
shaped
sort of
herb.
yeah, some sort of cure or whatever, and literally Queen Ramonda, Angela Bassett walks in and just says he's with the ancestors now, and
Yeah,
then we have the whole like no.
yeah, a little bit. A little bit. I did get close to my prediction. I remember if you go back and listen to some of my predictions on the Black Panther trailer, I was saying that I thought that they were going to use Chadwick Boseman's, or not Chadwick, T'Challa's body, or what's his name, Eric Killmonger's
Yep.
body, to maybe, because it is still in their DNA somewhere,
Mm-hmm.
to use it to reignite the heart shaped herb supply, like start the plant over again. I was close. They
Yeah.
did use his DNA. They synthesized it. It's like they do a 3D printing of it genetically
Right.
because vibranium, and this is the most technologically advanced. You also have to just assume Wakanda is the most technologically advanced civilization.
But also that vibranium can do anything you need it to do.
Ever.
It's the ultimate MacGuffin. So
thank you to our sponsor.
So yeah, so they basically synthesize a synthetic heart-shaped herb,
and they use. So they don't use his actual, but they use the imprint of his DNA
right.
as the blueprint to see if it is going to work or not. So I was this close,
right.
but I knew like they're going to use his DNA for something about it. And they were cross-referencing. They were like, all right, and use it against my brother's DNA. And then they finally lit up green and they synthesized it. Whatever. That's way farther down the movie. But yeah, so I was close. But yeah, man. We talked about what sold me the ticket. What sold you the ticket, man?
I mean, honestly,
was it Namor?
It was Namor. It was Namor. I'm not gonna lie. Like I'm a complete comic book geek, and to see, like I said, to see somebody who is that ingrained into the Marvel history brought to the big screen for the first time, and in a new, really fascinating way.
Yeah.
Like the Namor of Black Panther, Wakanda Forever is not the same Namor of the Avengers, the Defenders, the Jack Kirby
at all.
But it works, and to me, it's essentially the same character but with a different history, and that's okay because they still get the basics of the character right. They still get the same. The same regency, the same agency, the same drive, the same.
I think I know what you're saying. Everything that when I
like everything that makes Namor on the page is what transferred onto the screen.
Yeah, exactly. It's like when I think of Tony Stark, in order for him to be the character of Tony, you have to check certain boxes.
Right.
He's arrogant. He's this. He's a playboy. He's a philanthropist. He can't get out of his own way. He's as much as a futurist as he is. He's also incredibly short-sighted because he knows he's right and he's waiting for everybody else to catch up. So them pivoting to an ancient, Mayan or Central American, South American civilization takes nothing away from the character of Namor at all.
Right.
At all. Like the arrogance he has, he's kind of a dick in the comics constantly, and his name, which I thought was really creative, I liked it. They called him Niño Sin Amor.
Niño Sin Amor,
and that is the child without love.
Right, and so he takes Namor.
Yeah, Namor from that.
Because he is Spanish and he
has no love.
He has no love within his heart.
Yeah,
he's black inside, like the deepest of the oceans.
Michael's really digging this impression. I like how it's not an impression of Namor, it's an impression of a Spanish person talking about Namor. You haven't noticed that subtlety there? Somebody who's very articulate and likes to talk about Namor. I keep the legend of Mr. Namor.
There's passions within my heart.
For the Namor.
For the Namors.
Exactly. Anyways, check that. Michael does an impression. So
racist question mark?
Well, we won't cross that off. So he's the child without love, and so they really check that of like he really doesn't have any love for the surface world. Very much so, like a certain other DC character. Mother was of the land or whatever, and then Well, you want to tell the backstory of Namor in the movie, or what was it again? It's
I mean, basically his Mesoamerican tribe. His mother's pregnant. They're being driven by the conquistadors, and their shaman finds, just like in Wakanda, they have the heart-shaped herb that grew out of a vibranium meteorite, they find one under the sea and they eat it, and it turns them into fish people, and now they can breathe underwater, and they establish the city of Tecolan or Teclan,
Telecom, yeah, telecom,
Telocan.
yeah.
So basically, the Atlantis stand-in, and he is born immediately afterwards, and as the first mutant, he is born.
Which they do say.
He is legitimately the first mutant. He is born with winged feet, little ankle winglets, and the ability to breathe both air and water, and super strength, and speed, and charisma, and he's basically the perfect D&D character.
Yeah, pretty much, pretty much. So yeah, so ultimately what happens is he decides his mother dies or whatever after birthing him. He goes back up to the surface world to bury him, and he sees like these conquistadors just with people in chains. They're burning buildings and this and that and the third, and he just floats up and he's just like, and they just wreck shop.
Yeah,
on these conquistadors. And
at like 8 years old.
Basically. Yeah, like 8 years old, he rides, which is a dope scene.
Yeah,
like, the conquistadors look at him. They got the rifles and stuff, and he just hovers up and kind of raises his arms and is like, "Oh shit!" Because he wants his mother missed the surface world, so she's like, "Bury me on the surface world when I pass." So, but the cool part is, and this is what the difference is. There's a big pivotal scene in the movie where they're talking to our underrated performance of the week, Mr. Winston Duke himself, M'Baku. The man is brilliant.
His name is Khan.
Yes, that's a good impression, actually. And that is the feathered serpent god.
That's right.
So, and he breaks down to them. He's like, you understand that if these Nemorian people, which we haven't
Atlanteans, Telecons, whatever, yeah.
Sorry. Nemorian, jeez, that's the cousin Namorita. if these Talokan people, which we haven't talked about the MacGuffin as to why they're about to do what I'm about to say, but we will. If they come to wage war on Wakanda, like this guy is not their king.
Right.
He is not like
their emperor, their priest.
He's not just some dude like El Presidente. He is a god,
right,
to them, and they are like, yeah, it's tough, man. So
I mean, at this point, he's 600 years old. He's invincible.
You fight for the glory of Wakanda to protect it. They fight for him.
Right.
Like, do you understand the difference in that?
Right.
It's tough, man. It's tough sledding. So, but yeah, he's cool Khan.
So basically, Namor is concerned that the surface world is finding vibranium, because apparently the world believes that all of the world's supply of vibranium is in Wakanda. We find out that that's not true. There might be some under the sea. They're exploring, and he basically rises and tries to formulate an alliance with Wakanda, basically saying, you're either with me or you're against me. I'm going to take on the world and crush them before they come for my resources and land, because that is the way of the world. It's all conquistadors and conquerors, and I know which one I want to be.
Yeah, pretty much. The MacGuffin that gets them there, though, and I have no problem. Like, I have no problem with the actress or anything like that. It was her take on it, but like, introduce Riri Williams.
Right.
She is a brilliant mind at like 14 years old. Like, went to MIT. The young Tony Stark, pretty much. And she's going to be, as you can tell, just like in the comic books, the replacement for Iron Man. So it's Ironheart. She builds a machine in like shop class or whatever that can ultimately detect vibranium.
Right.
Anywhere. And so the Americans get a hold of it, and what do? They start to find vibranium in the world, and the Talokans, they ultimately see this machine. They see a giant vessel that's finding this. They go up there and they kill everybody on board.
Right.
They stab the siren song that they sing, and it makes sailors jump to their death.
Which is a dope scene.
It's a dope scene.
Bringing in the mythology of the sirens and mermaids and stuff like that. I mean, it's all based on essentially, sound technology, which is what all of Wakanda is based off as well.
Yep.
So,
So they pretty much go and they kill everyone on board. And ultimately, the outside world, it's very much so. Well, I'm gonna dodge this one. The outside world is looking for a reason to go into Wakanda and steal the resources. Right. One of the earliest scenes in the movies is Princess Ramonda, Angela Bassett, sitting in front of the UN and being like, hey, you guys are knocking on our door. Like, you think we don't hear you, but we know. And while she's sitting there having this speech, kind of showing simultaneously this group of soldiers that are trying to break into a Wakandan vault to steal vibranium,
Mm-hmm.
and they get handled by the Dora Milaje quite effectively, which is that's what they do. That's their
Right.
whole thing.
Right.
They step out of the safe that they're thinking. They break into the safe, and all of a sudden you just see like 4 women come out with these spears, and like, oh shit. So they parade these people in front of the UN, being like, "You motherfuckers are trying to steal from us. We've offered to share our technologies, not outright give it to you.
Right.
But
Right.
any
Right.
further aggression, like any other attempts, will be treated as an act of aggression." So, all that being said, when the Talosian people, Namor's people, come and kill everyone on the boat, everyone in the world's like, "Yo, this is our chance to go do it."
Right.
So
Right.
it's peril in Wakanda because now you've got really what happens is they go to meet Riri Williams, who built the sonar machine that detects the vibranium or whatever. And it's weird. They kind of use her as the original MacGuffin of like, oh, we got to get to her before they do. And it's like, there's a weird pivot in the movie where it's like,
it all of a sudden becomes like a political intrigue or something like that, where it's all about like, well, we have to join forces and the conflict of like differential ideas and stuff like that.
yeah,
And all of a sudden Riri just takes a complete backseat and like she doesn't matter anymore. Like literally the Talosians have her in the kingdom, like have her in prison, and they're just like, well, you just stay here. We're gonna take Shuri with us now.
no, they Shuri goes with them. But it's a weird pivot because they learn about this machine, the Talosians or whatever, and they're like, oh, well, we're going to destroy the machine and we're also going to kill the scientist. So who is the scientist? And they find out it's Riri Williams.
Mm-hmm.
Wakanda's like, hang on, we're not going to let you kill this girl once they learn that it was, she's like, I think she's 19 in the movie.
Something like that.
Whatever. Chicago, out of Chicago, whatever, is going to MIT. So they kind of intervene, and that's kind of what puts them at the cross point is this MacGuffin of Riri Williams. And it pivots because it's Riri Williams, okay, we're going to kill her. And all of a sudden they break out of Talosian, and then it's like, oh no, now we're going to destroy Wakanda. And it's like, wait, what?
Right.
I knew that it had to happen to come to that point.
Of course, there has to be some sort of turn to make Namor bring his entire army against the army of Wakanda, so because it's essentially a war of nations and ideals. But it does happen.
It pivots very quickly,
really quickly, and sort of in like the weirdest, most awkward like sequence of events. Like they're trying to kill Riri, and so they accidentally kill one of the Atlanteans, and that's the thing that triggers Namor, where it's like, well, but you just kidnapped like everybody, so
yeah.
what are we supposed to do? Like,
yeah, it pivots kind of quickly, and it gets a little muddied there. They're just trying to find a reason for them to get to the third act, really,
right,
or the mid act or whatever. But it's dope though. I said something when we were talking in the theater, and after the movie ended, because everybody else bailed, and we sat there because that's what Michael and I do. We pretend to learn the names that are on the credits. That's all they do. Just sit there and watch their names go across the screen. But I said something. I don't usually talk like this, but I said, I loved the movie, but it suffered under the weight of its own necessity and the fact that it had to do certain things. It juggled a lot in terms of that was really just a fancy way of saying it had a lot in the air.
Yeah,
and, It needed to wrap up the Chadwick Boseman thing.
Agreed.
It had to. That's the whole point of the movie.
Right.
It has to introduce Namor.
Yep.
It has to show us the state of Wakanda in its end, that it's currently in, and build a threat, which would be Tala Khan. That's 4 things.
Right.
We have to introduce a new Black Panther.
Yep.
And we have to find resolution at the end. And there's some other twists and turns that
and
go
then,
on.
And then
another character, spoilers, we said we're going to do it. Queen Ramonda dies in it.
Right.
And
but then also they bring in the
Riri
whole...
Williams.
They bring in Riri Williams. They bring in the whole thing between Everett Ross and Val, the new leader of S.H.I.E.L.D. and the S.H.I.E.L.D. agent. There's a whole backstory where we find out that they've been married at one point and they have this whole relationship, and she's tracking him and he's trying not to let everybody at S.H.I.E.L.D. know that he's, basically a Wakandan ambassador at this point.
Pretty much.
So yeah, I think it had a lot of plate spinning, and some of them kind of unnecessarily. Like, not... I understand that there's certain elements you have to introduce, like you said, you have to introduce new Black Panther, you have to introduce the threat of Namor and the Atlanteans, you have to wrap up Chadwick Boseman, like at least address it,
right?
But I think that they kept a lot of those plates spinning unnecessarily during the movie. There's certain points where they could have like just set that plot line down and moved on to something else, and it would have been just fine. But they kept trying to reference it and come back. So
I agree with that. I'll say this though. All that being said, the movie in the wrong hands, with all of those going on, like
it would have been horrible.
Oh no, in the wrong hands. Oh god, this movie could have been an absolute disaster.
Yeah.
It is to me a testament of Ryan Coogler's ability as a filmmaker, because he did all of that and still made it really, really emotionally poignant.
Yeah. Like, it's such a great, touching movie.
We didn't even talk about Homegirl's expulsion from the Dora Milaje.
It's so much like everybody loses everything in this. I mean, from the opening sequence, like when they're running the Marvel credits and they have the comic books flipping through.
It's all Chadwick.
It's all Chadwick Boseman.
I cried.
And
don't act like you did.
But they're not. They don't run any music over it. Like it's just total silence, just somber, just showing him in all his glory as they flip through the Marvel credits. And I mean, I clapped. I absolutely like that's the way you do that. That's the way you start off a movie like this, by just being like, we're gonna bring it down to this level immediately, so that by the time we bring in Namor and the whole threat of Wakanda, you've already been on this emotional roller coaster and felt the entire rainbow of emotions. And then we're gonna finish it on a really good note, send everybody home happy, and thank you, Marvel.
Yeah. So I mean, that was perfectly put, man.
Yeah,
it was. I forgot about that. The opening sequence with Chadwick Boseman behind the scenes laughing and smiling, and then just him being badasses. I can see, you can see, I am not dead, and I have not yielded. Yeah, it's like all that shit, man. It's a fucking. Now that you say it really did, man. It ran the whole gamut of emotion, and like I said, in a lesser filmmaker's hand, it could have been dog shit. But the fact that it's even, in my opinion. I guess I'll get to the review, but we can talk about it more if we want, but like just for the sake of conversation, in my opinion, that they can do all of that, still have admittedly, some of the flaws that it has, but the good parts outweigh what, in my opinion, what the flaws were on such a level. I think this is not top tier Marvel. I think there's about five movies or so, but this is what I would call the gatekeeper of top tier. It's like the highest B+, A- you can possibly get, in my opinion, without being taking that next step into the echelon of absolute greatness. Like,
this is
a lot, and it suffers a little bit of Iron Man 2 syndrome, and they kind of shotgun blast you with a lot of shit. You're like,
right.
This is the Iron Man 2 of phase.
It is a lot to take in, like, all at once, and especially for it being it's like a 2 hour and 40 minutes or something like that.
It's pretty lengthy, yeah.
So
you feel it a little bit,
for sure, but. To their credit, the second it starts to slow down, they do tend to pick up the pace a lot. But again, that's sort of it's weighed down by the weight of its own moving parts. Like it's constantly new information, constantly bringing in like, okay, so now I have to understand the history of Atlanteans, and here's Namor's backstory, and here's the introduction to Riri Williams, and here's that. Like it's just constant influx of information. So, but that being said. They tie it all together very well, and it's beautifully done, and it's a very rich world. It's both fantastic and believable in a weird sense.
Yeah,
in terms of
the human, the emotional aspect is very human, I would think. Like in terms of the emotions in which the characters are going through, is incredibly human.
But once you start going under the sea and seeing how Atlantis works and how they use like sea currents and sonic technology to open stone gates and stuff like that, or bioluminescence from animals. It really is this very rich, involved world that kind of leaves you wanting to see more. So it's fantastic in that sense, but then they ground it in this very real human emotion, this very real human story. So it's very wonderfully done. Yeah.
No, absolutely, man. I ultimately, as Shuri does become the Black Panther, we talked about that earlier, and the final fight is Shuri versus Namor, which it's a pretty badass fight. But ultimately, what kind of saves one from killing the other? And if you paid any attention or ever watched a movie in your life before, they show you all the parallels of like they have their little. It looks like they throw a Hadouken in Telecon, and then in Wakanda they have the right over left always, and like but in Talakan, it's a little Hadouken or whatever. So they got like all these similarities, and they show and like right before Black Panther is about to defeat Namor. Um, it kind of shows you. It takes the time to actually show like the real of it. Like, hey, look, they're the same. We're one and the same. And it's
Right.
like it's really on the nose, but it's necessary because there are probably some people in the world that didn't get that until they saw that.
Right.
Like,
The little montage of them, like,
for those
here's
who
all
haven't gotten it yet.
right. Here's all of Wakanda going to the market, and look, oh, the Atlanteans have
Do
a
the same
market
thing.
too, and oh, here's children playing, and oh man, our kids play as well. How about that?
But there's a lot of parallels in it. I will say, without talking about it too much, there is an appearance from one Michael B. Jordan in it.
I mean, we can just go and talk about it.
Yeah, go ahead, hit him with it.
I mean,
I know we're running a little lengthy, but we're good.
It's all right. Yeah. So, as previously shown in the Black Panther movie, once you assume the mantle of Black Panther, you go to the ancestral plane. You sort of get sage advice, or sort of it's like going to see the oracle. What kind of leader will I be? And you meet whoever is your patron, or whoever is your guide, or whatever. And Shuri goes under the heart-shaped herb and goes to the ancestral plane and meets Killmonger. And I didn't see it coming until maybe about 60 seconds before it happened. Like, once she went under, I started having the thought of, like, they're not going to show Chadwick. Who are they going to go? Oh my God, they're going to go to fucking Killmonger.
Yeah.
And then having that really weird pivot where it's a callback to a shot in Black Panther where Killmonger assumes the throne and everything's upside down, and then they open on that shot of the throne upside down and flip it around, and you see him sort of like lounging in the chair, all like,
what's up, cousin?
Yeah, like Hugh Hefner or something.
What's up, baby cousin?
What's up, baby cousin? It was such a thrill to see her, and it makes so much sense, because that would be Shuri's guy, because at this point she's been driven by vengeance and anger and righteous hatred of everything around her, which is exactly the same thing that fueled Killmonger.
Yep.
So of course that would be her guide, in order to show her that we're very similar. Here's how you not do it the way that I did it.
Yeah, and it's also he kind of talks shit. He's like, don't you say anything about T'Challa? He's like, he was too noble.
Right.
And that's what got his ass killed.
And T'Chaka was a coward.
And T'Chaka was a coward who was a murderer who killed my own pie. And this person before him was this. He's like, now are you going to be one of them, or are you going to be the Black Panther like me to get shit done? And he's like, you were a murderer. He's like, no. In one day, I flipped your whole society over and was willing to go wage war on the world. Like, I was ready to get shit done.
Right.
Like, yeah, you stopped me, but the motivation was there. So, like, are you going to be the one that sits around and is noble, or are you going to get shit done? And it kind of fuels her to almost kill Namor. The scene that got me, though, is when her other spiritual successor came in. We mentioned Queen Ramonda died. When she came down from her ancestor plane, and you hear it in the background, and I'm getting goosebumps thinking about it. When she says to Shuri, show them who you are.
Yeah.
And she shows mercy to Namor, I was like, fuck. That is, now I get why you killed Ramonda.
Which, by the way.
Which was a lot. I was like, dude, you're killing Ramonda too in this one, too?
Which, by the way, Angela Bassett, if she does not get nominated for some sort of, like, not just one of our statues, but like a real life actual statue.
Again, we hold the standard.
But man, she is in probably 3 scenes the entire movie, but she conquers all of them.
Oh,
she is phenomenal to watch. I mean, captivating to the letter, like, cannot take your eyes off of her on screen, and commands presence, and her voice and her tenor and the way she brings emotion just in the inflection in her voice is really, really a masterclass on how to bring so many emotions. I mean, there's one where she's screaming at the UN. There's one where she has a very intimate, like
she kicks Denai Guerrera out of
the Dormage. Right.
What?
Right.
I was like, damn.
But then she has this really intimate, like really close, quiet scene with Shuri on the riverbank where she talks about letting go, and like she talks about her process, how she would just come down to the river and just not leave until she felt peace, you know? And yeah, like she literally throws all these different emotions at it, and it's so good. And just seeing her face crinkle with
Yeah.
excitement and anger and love and I mean just the smallest inflection of her eyebrow and it says so
So yeah,
much.
she's real deal in it. She got her groove back for this one.
I see what
See
you've
what I
done
did?
there.
Yeah, no, she everything you said plus one. Yeah, no, she is the shit, man. Um, I also did like, and I almost welled up a little bit during this because he means so much to me. We haven't talked about her too much, but Ironheart,
Mm-hmm.
she has her own Tony Stark moment
Mm-hmm.
when he first gets in the suit, the silver one, and he flies and he's checking the freeze point or whatever, and then he tumbles back to Earth and he's like, "I'm flying dead stick" or whatever, and you see him inside and he's plummeting to Earth as Iron Man, and he cranks it back on at the last second. She goes up to the point where oxygen is running out, and she kind of has her own thing where it's like she has to stop this drone.
This
So
drone,
she
right?
flies all the way up, and she's like one of the smartest beings on the planet that we've met so far. Like so much so that Shuri was impressed with her. Like it's like that. So she figures out this trajectory where this thing's going to be, and she flies all the way up as high as she can, shoots the drone down, and then plummets to Earth, just like Iron Man. And at the last second, her suit kicks back in, and she
Right. It's
and
all about
boosts
the
off.
callback, baby.
I got goosebumps just saying that. I was like,
But then on top of it, to she not only knocks the drone out of the sky, but she worked out the trajectory to where once she shot it out of the sky, it fell on the shield agents that were
yep,
blocking the bridge, which is even better than Tony Stark did.
yeah,
So
yeah. So I say all that because, as you well know, I'm a huge Tony Stark fan. We both are. I think we think Iron Man 1 is a perfect movie.
it is.
But
I'll fight you.
yeah. But for real, the mantle of Iron Man is in good hands.
Yes.
So far, at least. I mean, they have plenty of time to screw it up. As long as you don't expect her to be just like Tony Stark, like let her do her own thing, I think we're all going to be in a good place because you got to let RDJ. No one's going to bring RDJ
Oh
back.
no. I mean, maybe a dump truck full of money,
Yeah,
but
phase 18. Like literally, if you ever work for Marvel ever, we're gonna put you in a movie. But yeah, I enjoyed Ironheart a lot. Her character is a little bit abrasive. It's when I've read her in the comic books before, I didn't quite get the transition. It wasn't how I read her in my voice in the comics. She's
right.
a little bit more abrasive. But again, it all depends on the writer. They took a very specific iteration of her from the book, which works. I can't say, oh, the character is not like this.
She does tend to be the stereotypical like headstrong teenager. Like, well, you can't tell me. And it's just like sometimes like, hey, shut up, okay?
Yeah.
I'm the Black Panther. I'm fucking telling you how to do this. Trust me, this is how it's gonna be. You know?
Yeah. She's almost too smart for her own good. So
yeah, or too headstrong for her
too
own
headstrong
good,
for her good. Yeah. So yeah, I think anything else you want to talk about Black Panther wise? We talked about Riri, Iron Man being in good hands. Talked about Namor. That actor Tenoch Huerta or whatever,
yes,
knocks it out of the fucking park. Yeah, that dude crushes it. Anything else, man?
Doggy style.
That's okay. Cool. On that note, I'm gonna take it a little bit serious here, real quick. Recently, we lost the Power Ranger himself. We mentioned it earlier.
Mm-hmm.
What's his name?
Jason David Frank.
Yep. Okay. Tommy Oliver himself. Man, with that, and we're talking about Chadwick Boseman. I heard a quote the other day, and I just want to share it with you.
Oh, and also Kevin Conroy.
Oh, Kevin Conroy. That was our three. Yeah.
Oh man, yeah.
Kevin Conroy. We lost.
We can't get into that because it's gonna be too long. But
we lost some good ones. We lost some real ones.
Yeah.
Kevin Conroy, the voice of Batman, the animated series. When we read Batman books here at What You've Been Watching, that's the voice we hear.
Yep.
So
100%.
I heard a quote the other day. Not trying to leave it on this note. Michael, you know I love you very much. But it says, don't let tragedy be the reason you remember to be grateful. So go watch a movie.
And talk about it with somebody that you love.
Out.